It all began in 1989 when Robert Lazar told the most important media of the country that he had worked at Area 51, where he had seen evidence of extraterrestrials. The previous decades had not been quiet at all, since the sightings of strange flying objects were increasing and the world's population was on the lookout for any news about UFOs. Robert Lazar arrived to add fuel to the fire. In addition to having claimed his first-hand proximity to alien autopsy photographs, Lazar also claimed that the government was using Area 51 to conduct experiments and studies with alien spacecraft. Although Robert's testimony was discredited, it was undoubtedly the spark that ignited a flare of theories about the government's knowledge and concealment of extraterrestrial information. Was there any truth to Bob Lazar's testimonies? The topic is revisited today as his story has not changed for decades, and now disclosure is further validating his claims. Mankind has always looked to the skies for meaning, but as our yearning for knowledge has reached farther into the depths of space, the search becomes for the answer to the question, are we alone? If you seek the truth, like, subscribe, click the bell icon, join us. This is what the world needs. This is disclosure. Secrets, mystery, occultism, and the inexplicable have been factors that have marked history throughout humanity, especially in those subjects where the desire to know more is immense. In those inexplicable subjects without answers, where each one of the inhabitants of this world would surely like to know the answer to the question, are we alone in the universe? Are there beings like us somewhere in the cosmos? And beyond that, what would happen if they were already here among us? This was one of the questions and assertions of Bob Lazar, American businessman, lecturer, writer, ufologist, and conspiracy theorist who was recognized for having claimed to have worked in a secret military facility where they experimented and investigated UFOs in depth. Lazar even claimed to have seen 9 flying saucers during the time he was working at the top-secret facility, claiming that officially the aliens came from the star Zeta Reticuli and had been coming to Earth for 10,000 years. Additionally, there is his claim of the existence of energy sources enabling light-speed travel. However, many skeptics doubted Lazar and the credibility of his stories, while others fully believed what he said. The question is, does Bob Lazar have hidden secrets to tell us? Lazar first appeared publicly in 1989 when he was interviewed by George Knapp of KLAS-TV in Las Vegas. Initially, Lazar spoke in the shadows while using the pseudonym Dennis. It would be a little later when he officially presented himself with his name and in the public light, showing his face and all that he was. Everyone was stunned by what Lazar was telling. It all seemed simply unbelievable. But how could we not believe someone who came from the most secret government facilities? Bob Lazar's claims captivated everyone who listened to him. One of them was that the US government possessed ships from other planets that crashed or were trapped on Earth. However, he also claimed that everything he knew was the result of his work on a team contracted by the government to conduct advanced technologies and experiments such as reverse engineering of extraterrestrial spacecraft. This, according to Lazar, would allow scientists to discover the secrets of propulsion that were needed in order to unlock humanity's journey to the stars, something that is still not at all possible today. However, despite working on top-secret projects, Lazar says he was fired from the military base for taking his friends one night close enough to observe the test flights of the saucers there. Undoubtedly, the stories told by Bob Lazar were perfectly related to the characteristics of stories about abductions and conspiracies within the government, which resulted in a profound popular influence that came to be reflected in cartoons and even in films such as Independence Day. While the events recounted by Lazar put Area 51 on the map, it also put the spotlight on himself, and it wasn't long before people began to investigate and dig deep into the stories he told. To everyone's surprise, places where Lazar claimed to have gone to study, such as MIT, said they had never known of his existence. In addition, about a year after he went public with everything he experienced inside the base, Lazar was criminally charged for helping to run what prosecutors described as an illegal high-tech brothel. And as you might imagine, that didn't help his credibility at all. However, Bob Lazar wouldn't budge. He knew what he had seen and experienced. So as his case moved through the court system, he presented one of the few pieces of physical evidence that confirmed he had ever worked at a top-secret base in Nevada. It was nothing more or less than a W-2 form reflecting income of less than $1,000, which had supposedly been paid by the Department of Naval Intelligence. But skeptics would not stop, as they went so far as to question the authenticity of the form shown by Lazar. The skeptics claim that there was no Naval Intelligence Department, as the only thing resembling it that existed was the Office of Naval Intelligence, which was located within the Navy Department. However, despite little physical evidence, credibility issues, and lack of corroboration by scientists, Bob Lazar's incredible story not only survived for over 3 decades, it thrived. Just as it did in 2018 when his claims received special attention in a documentary produced by filmmaker Jeremy Corbell. And assuming Bob Lazar certainly told the world the truth, could the report avoid acknowledging it? That is, wouldn't the Pentagon have to say at the very least? If everything Lazar told us decades ago were true, it would undoubtedly become the biggest news story since the beginning of life on the planet. After all, the mysterious secrets of Area 51 is something very few people talk about. Today, it still remains just as classified and secret. For example, former President Barack Obama, who was this nation's commander-in-chief and should know, maybe, what's going on around the nation, was asked about UFOs in a recent interview with CBS TV's James Corden. And while Barack said he was fully aware of every actual incident involving strange flying objects in the sky making unexplained maneuvers, he also took the opportunity to address the extraterrestrial issue and alien spacecraft on Earth, saying the following: "When I came into office, I asked about aliens, right? I wondered if there was a laboratory somewhere where alien specimens and spacecraft are kept. They did a little research and the answer was no. So, would Bob Lazar have any hidden secrets? Something he has been forbidden to talk about?" One thing can be said about Bob Lazar after all these years: he was unequivocal. At no time did he ever doubt what he had said and experienced back then. Lazar said flat out that U.S. government scientists had 9 alien spacecraft on which they were conducting tests and experiments. 9! And that these craft have been studied for more than 30 years at that point, and that he is one of the few people who has had the opportunity to see and touch them. But if we dig a little deeper based on Obama's comments, I don't think we see evidence of it. If something as such exists, the chances of it being made public is minimal. Bob Lazar, in a nutshell, narrated that technology discovered by the U.S. government in such devices could impact all of humanity. Though you might be wondering, was Lazar ever persecuted for revealing such government secrets? According to his testimony, Lazar's decision to quit his job on the ships and to tell his story has cost him dearly, as he has been subjected to persecution by the FBI, threats to himself and his family, raids on his residence, and actions aimed at literally wiping him off the face of the earth. Bob Lazar says that on several occasions, he and his family were shot at and anonymously threatened with death. Could it have been the government itself trying to silence him? We don't know, but Lazar's solution was to give hundreds of interviews to the media detailing every single thing he had experienced with extraterrestrial artifacts, so that records could be kept in case anything ever happened to him. In the 2018 documentary Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers focused on his claims regarding his attempts to reverse engineer extraterrestrial craft for the U.S. military in the so-called Sector 4 of Area 51. The documentary was directed by Jeremy Corbell and produced by George Knapp. After so many years and events, beyond saying that it is a military installation, the government has not specified what kind of research or operations are carried out at Area 51. Bob Lazar and this enigmatic place undoubtedly became one of the biggest puzzles in ufology. Secrets, mysteries, and an impenetrable ultra-classified system. A place where even the workers are a great mystery. Workers who take clandestine flights from McCarran International Airport to reach the mysterious place. We are in an era where the greatest secrets are coming to light thanks to the pressure of thousands of scientists and millions of people who want to know the truth. Will the truth about Bob Lazar's secrets come out among them? Like and subscribe to our channel to be notified.